And here we are once again with another Enough Already podcast. My name is Fingers Malloy. Thanks for finding us on the internet. Tracy L. Connors joins me as the co-host of this fantastic podcast. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Fingers. Are you in tryouts for the Micro Machine Man replacement? Was that the guy that talked super fast? That's what it was, Micro Machines? You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember
1980s commercials?
Was I talking really fast?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Never
You've been caffeinating?
No, as a matter of fact, the exact opposite. I'm channeling my inner Liawatha right now. I got me a bear.
Nice.
That's fun to say. Have you ever yelled that?
No.
No. Oh, well, from time to time, I'll be driving around town in my car by myself, and I will imitate Elizabeth Warren and during her little announcement video on Instagram. I'm going to get me a beer. And then her husband just came walking in. Wasn't staged at all.
No.
Beautiful. So here's the deal, folks. Bill O'Reilly calls you the folks. Tracy and I have been talking. And we came to the conclusion this week that there's not a lot to talk about. We're right in the middle of summer. There wasn't a really sexy news dump on Friday, Tracy.
Nope.
So we could talk about the whole tariff thing with Mexico and the deal that was struck that apparently we're going to not have those tariffs be implemented, and Mexico's going to send a bunch of troops down their southern border, yada, yada, yada. But quite frankly, I mean, I looked at stories to talk about this week, and I didn't give a shit about any of them, Tracy.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of a big deal that Mexico capitulated, right? And now we know that tariffs are a worthwhile threat. Maybe the Chinese will get in line.
It is, but I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, okay, they're going to send the troops down to the border. Are they just going to be standing there and waving as migrants go by? You know, it's, oh, here you go. Do you need water?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we've seen some photographs. They look pretty heavily armed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did Eric Holder send them any guns?
Potentially.
That's good to know. So rather than talk about stuff like that, we just thought we would talk about stories that you may not have heard this week, and maybe they have not come across your radar. Like, for instance, Tracy found apparently is this a weekly series that the Huffington Post does, Tracy?
Yes, I only assume that because in the title it says the week of June the 1st through the 7th. That leads me to believe this is an ongoing series.
Oh, so these are the 20 funniest tweets from women.
Yeah. According to the Huffington Post's standards. And Fingers hasn't heard these yet, so.
No, I
be
got
prepared.
My beer.
Yeah. You better not take a drink because it might come out your nose.
Are there anyone, before we get started with these tweets, let me ask you this. Are these from celebrity women, or are these just funny Twitter accounts that are allegedly female accounts that the Huffington Post just came across?
Some of them are blue check. Some of them seem to be just random Twitter users that happen to have a picture of a woman in their Avi.
Oh, are 3/4 of them Huffington Post writers?
I didn't look up who they were because none of them were.
Okay.
As we get into this, you'll see why I didn't care to follow up on who these women actually are. So this is put together by some person. I assume she's a woman who calls herself Hollis Miller. So she begins, the ladies of Twitter never fail to brighten our days with their brilliant and succinct wit. Each week, Huffington Post Women rounds up hilarious musings of 280 characters or less. Scroll through this week's great tweets from women below, and then visit our funniest tweets from women page for our past roundups. So be sure to, I'll put a link to this in the show notes because I'm sure everybody's going to want to read all of them now after seeing this. Let me make this a little bit bigger on the screen so those following along on the YouTube channel can read these wonderful, hilarious tweets for themselves. So here's the first one by someone called Hunter Harris, blue check. There's one liquor store on my street with one cute boy, and now a new liquor store is opened and it's staffed by another cute boy. And then ellipses, sounds like a duel, ladies. Nothing? I mean,
wow.
And I thought they would come out strong, right? They probably put the best one first. So get prepared. Wow.
Will you read that setup again?
Okay.
To the tweets. What did she say? These will brighten up our day, and these are hilarious. Is that the setup?
The ladies of Twitter never fail to brighten our days with their brilliant and succinct wit. That's what we're looking at here. Brilliant and succinct wit that will brighten your day, fingers.
Wow. So far, my day not brightened.
Oh, having more of your beer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Funny tweet number 2 by a lady named Beth McCole. I can't believe I'm not even 26 yet, and I'm already in feuds with 2 separate post offices. Nobody believed I could do it, but I showed them all. Okay.
Boy, I'm going to need to drink a lot more beer before I crack a smile. If this is an example of what Huffington Post considers funny, I mean, forget the whole gender thing, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But this is funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently. Here's a real good one. Kendra, another blue check, Kendra Alvey. My friend told me that nature can cure depression. So I'm out here in my yard glaring at flowers and shit. Okay.
Wow. Listen, this is not anyone's fault who was included in this list. None of them asked to be.
Well, as far as we know.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, if this is an ongoing thing, maybe people submit these to Huffington Post. Because, I mean, that one got 1,894 likes. I just assume that these people have large followings and that's what happens. And it's all girl power. Yay, that was hilarious. I'm outside staring at flowers and shit.
You know, here's something I've often wondered. Because, you know, there was that whole debate of, what was it, 10 years ago when Christopher Hitchens wrote that piece saying that women aren't funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been around women, a group of women, and there'll be 1 or 2 women that make all the other women laugh.
Uh-huh.
And I'll listen to the conversation, and granted, I'm not emotionally invested in these topics that apparently, it's motherhood or whatever that, gets their wheels spinning. But I'll listen. I'll be like, why are they laughing? What is funny about what she just said? They're treating her like a modern day Elaine Boozler.
Who is that?
Exactly. But I don't get. So maybe this goes along with that. You have talked about it on previous shows, and I've asked you about Girl Brain because I don't understand how you all think.
Right.
So I was going to say, is this girl humor? But you're a girl.
Yeah, I don't get this either. And it doesn't seem to be, it's not political at all. None of these jokes are political or jokes, if we can call them this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like a total sexist pig, going back to what Christopher Hitchens said about women, but I just don't understand female humor, I guess. Because if this is funny, maybe it'll get better. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. I'm being premature in my criticism. I'm sure this is really going to start cooking here. I should go down the list. So,
right. So here we go with a plebe tweet. No blue check mark on Lisa Coe's Twitter. So she says, I used to drunk dial. Now I just request library books while zonked on Benadryl in the middle of the night and forget about them until they show up months later. That's semi-clever, I guess. But then I got confused. Like, did the library book show up at her door, or does she get an email that, hey, you've got a library book here? And
was that part of a thread of funny tweets? Maybe.
Me, yeah. No.
No.
No, because if it's a thread, the whole thread would post.
That tweet is definitely better than the first one about the liquor stores.
Yes.
But the bar's pretty low.
Right. And I've heard people tell really funny stories about going shopping on Amazon while they're on Ambien. And that could be a funny thing. It's like, oh, this stuff showed up. It looks like I ordered it 2 days ago at 1 a.m. And it would have to be something random that no one would ever like. And then you can just be like, oh, that was when I took my Ambien. Well,
and that's another thing, too. I don't understand because I've never tried an Ambien. Have you?
I had one once.
Ambiened up before?
Yes.
So I hear about people talking about taking an Ambien and drinking some wine.
Mm-hmm. It's not a good scene, fingers.
What's the experience like? Fill us in.
I took one once, and this is back in the days when I was still drinking beer, so I can't remember what kind of beer it was. I'm sure it was crappy. Maybe a Yingling or something. I had Ambien, one beer. Next thing, and I'm on my couch in my living room. Mm-hmm. The next thing I remember is waking up the next morning upstairs in my bed. No idea how I got there. And then I come to find out that one of my roommates had decided to have a little bit of fun. So there's photographs of this. He took everything that was sitting around in the room and just piled it on top of me on the couch. And he said, I didn't notice. And finally, I just sat up and was like, I'm going to bed. And walked up the stairs. No recollection of it whatsoever. So that was the last time I tried that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
No, it doesn't. But
everybody's looking for new and exciting ways to get high. And I'm like, you know what? This alcohol thing is pretty good. I think I'm fine with that.
Works quite well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Couple, 1,000 years of people getting drunk, and it's worked out quite well.
Right, exactly. Okay, so
all right, let's
moving
continue.
on.
Yes, so this is a visual one. So those of you who are just listening are going to miss out on this. It's 2 frames. The one on the left appears to be a person with a clownfish's head superimposed over their head from Finding Nemo. And then on the right, the person on the left is also standing up. And then on the left, there's a person on a couch covered in a Dallas Cowboys blanket with Nemo's face superimposed over their face. And so the tweet is the conversation that these two people fish are supposed to be having. Quote, you think you can do these things, Nemo, but you just can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a Finding Nemo thing that
I don't understand either. And I don't know if that's a new popular meme that's going around, but that has 553,000 likes.
It must be some kind of new meme or something that we're just not aware of.
Still, it's not funny.
I'll ask my 15-year-old.
Yeah, please do. All right, we're back to the blue checks.
Get back to you.
Okay, this lady's name is Parna Nancherla, is how I'm going to pronounce that. And she says, putting earbuds in so it seems like you're on a call, but you just want the freedom to talk to yourself without judgment.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I've done that.
Yeah, to talk to yourself? Or do
no, but I've done the whole putting earbuds in for no reason to get myself out of conversations.
Yes, not to sit around and talk to yourself, though.
Right. No, I don't do that. But I can't tell you how many times when I'm boarding a plane and I'm not listening to anything. In fact, my earbuds sometimes aren't even plugged into my phone; they're just in my hoodie pocket, and I'm just strolling along with the earbuds in because, God forbid, I get caught in a small talk conversation that will get me absolutely going nowhere in life. I don't understand people who participate in small talk. Are you a small talker? Like when you get into the grocery store and you're in the checkout, do you like to speak with people about the weather?
No, I usually chat with the cashiers.
Okay,
just to be polite. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm not chatting with the people around me in line.
That's awful.
And I usually have my headphones in.
There you go. When a conversation starts with hot enough for you, it's not a conversation worth having. That's all. Okay.
I think we need to put that on a throw pillow, fingers. All right. Let's continue to slog through this. So here's Helen, blue check mark, single name, which means she must have been on Twitter forever.
Right.
All right. She says, going on The Bachelor is so lucrative. You just lie to some dude's face for 2 weeks, call another contestant a bitch, then you get booted and spend the next 3 to 5 years slinging fit tea for 10 grand a post. A low effort life.
Okay, there's thought behind that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent observation, but it's not an original thought by any means.
It's not side-splittingly funny.
No.
But again, these women did not ask to be on this list.
Correct.
So,
but I'd be interested to see if I ever feel like torturing myself going through the older list and seeing if it's the same cast of women every week that end up on here, because there's a lot of blue checks. And surprisingly, none of them are comedians. And there's some female comedians that are decently funny and are pretty funny on Twitter.
Absolutely.
But, all right. So here's Kashana. As I imagine, maybe it's Kashana. I don't know. No one's going to look at the Mueller report until someone turns it into a musical.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Mara Quint says, it is legitimately weird to me that people watch Jeopardy to root for a contestant and not just to prove you can shout out trivia questions faster than they're doing on TV. And I read that it doesn't even make sense. You mean shout out answers, not shout out trivia questions. No one's watching Jeopardy and trying to compete with Alex Trebek and shout out a question in the hopes that the people on the screen are going to answer their question instead.
How many continents are there? No, what's the fastest animal on Earth? Wow.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking you should change your Abby to a woman and see if we can get you on this list next week.
Oh, boy.
Just start a campaign for this. They don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I can kind of see the tweets, but not really as you're sharing them. Is there a hashtag that these people are putting on there to try to participate in this sort of weird list? Or no hashtag?
Nope. Somebody from the Huffington Post spends their week trying to find the funniest tweets so she can compile this post.
I bet you're right. I bet she has her Twitter list of 50 people that she goes to, and it's the same people every week. And some weeks are home runs.
Yeah. But there's not even one that's made us crack a smile on this.
No, not really.
So here's a non-blue check, Sophie. She says, I don't want to be an influencer. I just want everyone to read the books I recommend so I have more people to discuss them with.
Here's the deal. Okay. That's a tweet worth tweeting. Okay, but would you say that's funny?
No.
To where it should show up, on a respected website like Huffington Post?
No. Oh, man.
What did you say these were the top 50 tweets?
Just 20. Just 20.
Oh, it's feeling like 50. Okay, go ahead.
We're getting near the end here. So this one is, it's a video. It's a meme. So everybody that's listening is going to have to go over to the YouTube channel and watch this one because it's totally worth it. So it says the tweet is walking out the gym at 8 a.m. And the video starts with a freeze frame on two guys that look like the Buckingham Palace guards, the beefeaters, opening a big white ornate door, revealing, let's see if this will play for me. There we go. Revealing a woman dressed. Oh, it's Beyonce. And she's dressed like a queen.
Okay.
So this is this chick walking out the gym at 8 a.m.
See, two reasons why I can't relate to this tweet. One, One, I don't get female humor, and two, I've never been to the gym at 8 a.m. So.
Oh. Yeah, well, I go to the gym sometimes that early, and that's not how I walk out of there.
Do you feel like Beyonce at all at the gym?
Never. It's not crossed my mind once. And nor do I feel like I would want to put that outfit on after working out.
Right.
Seems pretty heavy and a little bit ridiculous.
I don't think I could name 2 Beyonce songs, by the way.
I bet you can.
I know there's that, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Waterfalls. There you
go. There you go. Wow. Should we continue? Because this is painful.
Well, now that we've gone through, we've gone through 18 of the 20.
No.
You don't want to shortchange anyone. No?
No,
okay.
we've maybe done 10 of the 20.
Oh, good God. Yeah, then let's stop.
Okay. If ever a good one shows up on here, I'll keep an eye on this list. How about that going forward? And if there's ever one that actually makes me laugh, we'll have it on.
Okay, good. Now let's go on to more important issues. And that's daylight savings time.
All right.
Now, you used to live in Oregon. Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
Please explain this to me.
Okay.
I don't understand why people are passionate about daylight savings time.
I don't know either.
But Oregon, apparently, they've taken a stand.
Yes.
Tracy, tell me about it.
Well, they just voted. This is from the Washington Times. The headline is Oregon votes to make daylight saving time permanent. So, Oregon wants to make daylight savings time permanent and end the twice yearly time change. Their House voted 37-20 on Thursday to establish year-round daylight saving time if other West Coast states follow suit and the federal government approves. So it says now the measure will go to the governor, who will sign it. So California is considering the switch, while the governor of Washington State already signed a bill approving permanent daylight savings time.
A couple of things. First off, people are so crazy about daylight saving time that I've seen conversations on social media where people get upset even when daylight saving time happens, that people say daylight savings time, and I just caught myself saying savings time instead of saving time.
Yeah,
you'll have the grammar Nazis, and I shouldn't maybe have said Nazis. I may get us in trouble on YouTube. But the people upset that you say daylight savings time. But daylight saving time in general, it amazes me how passionate people get when it comes to daylight saving time. I remember I moved to Indiana in 2000. I moved from Michigan, and at the time, Indiana did not participate in daylight saving time. Mm-hmm. And it used to really be annoying when I would call people out of state, I'm calling home or whatever, and they would ask me what time it is here because they can never figure it out. But I'll never forget, we finally changed over, and now Indiana does participate in daylight saving time. But I think maybe about 2007, 2008, that we made the switch, and there were all these town halls, Tracy, where they brought the folks in to talk about whether we should participate in daylight saving time. And the lead on the local news, there was this guy had to have been 75 years old. He gets up to the podium and says, "I am not going to change my clock." Grabbed his chest, hit the floor.
Oh no!
Yeah. Wasn't a heart attack. We found out later he had just gotten so excited about changing his freaking clock twice a year, and he's so angry about it, he passed out. And I'm watching this whole thing thinking, are you kidding? Why are people so upset that they have to change I love daylight saving time.
Do you?
Yeah, I would much rather have it be light until 10 o'clock in the morning than having the sun peek in my window at 4:10 in the morning. That does nothing for me. So, I don't see what the big deal is, but people get all pissed off about changing their clocks.
Well, is there an argument? Like, why does the government get to tell us what time it is?
Is there? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I thought that was pretty funny that they say they have to, the governor can assign it and then they have to wait and see if California will get on board. But Arizona is on its own time. They don't do it. They stay on standard time the whole time. So they must have gotten special dispensation from the feds. It's okay. You guys can set your own clocks. It is. I mean, I guess you have to be on some sort of system. And my understanding is back in the day, fingers. Every town was on its own time based on the sun. So what standardized it was actually the railroads, because you can't have a train, say, leave Philadelphia going west. It leaves at noon, and then it gets to my town, which is 40 miles west, at noon my time. People will be losing the whole train schedule is just noon. So that's why it got standardized. But it varies across the whole thing. If you're at the western end of a time zone, you might as well be in the other one. Like Florida has 2 time zones. I'm sure there are other states that do. I just don't know them off the top of my head. Well, and that's what one of the things that was confusing about Indiana is you have most of the state is in the eastern time zone, but then by Chicago, they're in central. So then you've got you're not switching your time. And then, part of the state is in eastern, part of it is in central, and it just confused everyone outside of Indiana. But now we're just like everyone else except for Arizona. Right. Well, so if you're driving across the state that's split like that, you can actually time travel. Yes. So. It's a silly thing. No, I have no idea why people get so worked up. You don't give a shit, right? I mean, I don't care at all. I used to love it when it was, fallback, where the bars would stay open an extra hour. Yeah. It's wonderful. And in the spring, you get annoyed because they close early. Exactly. No, I was so surprised that I had no idea when I moved to Indiana that they didn't participate in daylight saving time, and I got to work an hour early. The Monday after they everyone else changed their clocks, and I'm looking around going, what? Why is anybody here? Back in the day when you actually had a digital alarm clock that you had to set yourself. Right, and then there was a newspaper on the table, and this is how old we're talking 2000 when people still read newspapers. And on page A13 of the Indianapolis Star, it said, "Reminder: Indiana is one of 2 states that does not participate in daylight saving time." Like, oh. Wish I would have known that yesterday. Yeah, it would have been nice. You could have slept an extra hour. Right? And then if Twitter would have been around, I could have switched my Abby to a female Abby, maybe tweeted something out and made the Huffington Post. There you go. I do think we need to... That should be an action undertaken by SCAM PAC. Right. Just all the scams that we're going to run are going to come out. I think we should have a T-shirt that says, "I'm going to have me a beer," that we sell to support our beach house building efforts. I was thinking we should also put together a new hat for Trump that just says "Stable Genius" on it. And Kanye would look good in that hat, too. Oh, yeah. It's very fitting for both of them. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen those. Stable Genius hats? Yeah, I'd wear that. Now you're going to see them everywhere. Well, you heard it here first. But, you bring up SCAM PAC, and I'd rather talk about that than anything in the news. We need to start spitballing what we're going to do with SCAM PAC. If you have any ideas what we could do for SCAM PAC, tweet us at Fingers Malloy or at Tracy L. Connors. At first, we just thought we were going to run campaign ads. And by campaign ads, I mean one ad. Right. We would raise a ton of money, and then we would film one ad on an iPhone 4.
and pocket the money. That's what we were thinking. But
yes, it'll be fingers and I staring off camera forlornly, and then pictures of beach houses.
yes. Oh, you want to save democracy? Send us $5 so we can buy a beach house.
So we can get away from you people.
Oh, democracy dies when you're not on the beach.
It does. Well, maybe we could. I've been thinking about this more. I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago with how far apart the left and the right have become on most issues that are discussed on a daily basis. And I thought, well, maybe we can come together and agree on one thing, and then that's democracy sucks. And that's going to be SCAM PAC's mission, is to get everybody to agree that democracy sucks, because democracy gets you all these things that you don't like. And if you can get, if everybody split 50-50, then it just depends on who the hell shows up, and you got to deal with it. If it's 49 to 51, you lose. Is that really a good deal?
Okay, I like what you're thinking, and then we offer up no solutions.
Yeah. No, we're the Dissalutionaries.
And there you have the name of the episode this week.
Yes.
So, yeah, we need to do something with this election cycle. So we need to get in touch with a good campaign finance attorney. Figure out how to structure this in a way that won't land us on Rikers. And
in solitary.
Yeah. And let's make our move. I am so sick of living a normal life, and by a normal life I mean living in the Midwest without a beach house.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I need to be able to fly somewhere and be on the beach.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we even need to go through the regular FEC channels. We can just put up a give us money button.
Can't give us money. Give me
right.
money,
Why go through? We'd have to hire a lawyer to do all the stupid paperwork to set up a PAC, and we don't need that. Then you have to
handle that.
No, then you have to do quarterly filings, and no. I'll set this up. You can just give us money through PayPal or all the cryptos. We'll take it all. Just anyway, I'll get a PO box. You can send us cash.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this has to happen.
Okay.
Next time we're hanging out, we're going to cut a video, and we'll turn it into an ad, and be upfront. We're going to waste your money.
Mm-hmm.
We're only enriching ourselves with this PAC. Well, help us. Send us $5. I think that this needs to happen. I mean, the amount of ridiculous emails I get from PACs.
Yeah. You're reminding me to check the alreadypod@gmail.com and see how many please give me money emails we got this week from the Democrats.
The emails that really crack me up are from PACs that want my money to help draft a candidate who will never run for public office.
Right.
I remember, I can't remember what PAC it was. They sent me email after email saying, send me $5 so we can draft Laura Ingraham to run for
was it Senate?
U.S. Senate seat, I think in Virginia or something. And I thought to myself, why in the hell would I want Laura Ingraham in the United States Senate? I mean, God bless her and all. You know,
right. But
there's no way in hell she's running, and you're just, what name can we attach to this that will bring in some coin? Laura Ingraham. Everybody likes her. Spitballing again. But, hey, maybe that got someone a small beach house. Who knows? But
could have.
Okay, so that's our mission. Let's get on that. Now we just got to find an iPhone 4 to be able to film all this. And
that could be our biggest obstacle.
Right? And can we cut it in iMovie?
Yes.
Oh, good. We don't want to go overboard spending a bunch of money on Final Cut.
No. Well, I do already have that, so.
I don't want to look too professional, Tracy. It's got to look gritty. We're just poor scam packers. We're in desperate need of a beach house. So, Tracy, I don't know. We're 35 minutes in, and I mean, we've got other stories we could talk about. Is there anything you want to talk about on our list?
Well, I thought this was kind of exciting. The FCC is expanding the power of cell phone companies to block robocalls. I don't know how many of those you get in a given week. Do you have any idea?
No. Here's the deal. What are they considering a robocall?
Well, according to it's just there are organizations or scams or whatever that just have these automatic dialing machines. So what they're talking about is anywhere where they can see that there's like a burst of activity from a certain location. And I don't know if they're using like ISPs to do this. If it's if it's actually over the phone or if they're using some computer program to place the calls. So it's coming out over IP addresses that they can kind of target. But Ajit Pai is quoted in this article, which is also from the Washington Times. So it says the Federal Communications Commission voted Thursday to expand the powers of mobile phone companies to automatically identify and block robocalls with newly devised filters. So I don't know how they're going to go about doing this, but God bless them because I'm so sick of it.
I'll tell you what. The telemarketing calls that I get, I made the mistake about 4 or 5 months ago. I refinanced my house.
Okay. Did you get a reverse mortgage, second mortgage?
Yes.
William Devane?
Who
did you buy it from?
I got a reverse mortgage from the ghost of Fred Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I made the mistake, though, of going through, or I didn't end up even using this service, which makes it even worse. I applied through LendingTree.
Okay.
Are you familiar with LendingTree?
I've seen their advertisements.
You enter your information and you hit send, and it sends your information out to hundreds of lenders who can independently contact you. And so they'll just run the one credit report and then we'll provide it to all of these different mortgage entities. And then, my God, I hit send. I hit enter. And it wasn't 5 seconds later, my phone started ringing. It was scary how fast it was. And it didn't stop. And it still hasn't stopped. I was getting 50 to 60 calls a day.
Oh, God.
From random numbers and getting voicemails from, this is Jim's Fish Chips and Mortgage Company. Crap you'd never even heard of before.
Right.
We're a small-time lender out of Louisiana, and we could really make you a great deal on a new mortgage. I'm like, holy shit. So I, blocking numbers like crazy on my phone. But, gosh, if there were, that was a solicited service, though.
Right.
But you get these ridiculous calls from. Have you gotten the ridiculous call from someone posing as the IRS?
Yes. And it's the automated call, right? Where it's a computer talking to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever stayed on the line?
No.
I have.
Well, I know I have never answered the phone. I've gotten the voicemail.
Oh,
so
no.
You stayed on the line.
I answered the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed on the line through the whole thing to see what would happen. Mm-hmm. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you get a phone call and it's like, the IRS is looking for you or something these lines. Like, you have an unresolved tax issue and you need to do something about this immediately and blah, blah, blah. And so I can understand that people would get scared and think this is legitimate and they give you a number. But if you stay on the line, they actually connect you to somebody. So I get connected, and it's one of these, and to risk getting us thrown off YouTube. He's like, "This is Steve." I'm like, "Okay." "Hello, this is Steve. You have big problem with IRS." "No, I don't. I know this is a scam." And he's like, "Okay, fuck you then," and hangs up on me. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Really? He said, "Okay, fuck you then"?
Yeah.
Oh.
They never tried calling me again. I guess they make a little note in their computer like, "This chick's hip to our bullshit. Don't try this scam with her ever again." But yeah, so in this article, they say that last year, an estimated 47.8 billion robocalls were made in the United States.
Oh, my God.
So that averages 12 robocalls a month for each of the country's 325 million residents. But that also, 325 million, that has to count children.
Right.
So it's probably more like 20 a month for adults. So, but this was the part that I found really funny. Concerns have emerged over whether the policy is too broad and could block legitimate automated calls, including reminders of doctor's appointments or legitimate credit card collection calls. Like, those people they can text me. How about that?
Right.
I know a lot of the doctor's offices and stuff now do that. They'll just text you.
Yeah, or send you an email.
Or they can also, how about they get whitelisted with the phone companies? So just say, these are all the numbers we could possibly call from. Can you whitelist us so we don't get blocked? I mean, this is a simple thing to solve, but they make it a big deal, and it goes on for a couple of paragraphs. All those people quoted like, "Oh my God, this could be too much. It's going overboard." I don't know. I think most Americans are going to cheer when they hear about this.
Is there a worse job? I would rather be on the poop patrol in San Francisco than to be a telemarketer. Have you ever done any telemarketing work before?
No, the closest I came was I did collections for about 2.5 years. So you want to talk about bad phone calls to make.
Oh, good Lord.
And getting cursed out.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did telemarketing for 4 hours.
Okay.
Well, I'd done, I've worked on phone banks before for candidates, and that's awful too. But, for 4 hours, I tried to sell photo packages to people for one of these, photo studios that are they're like chains. It's called Owen Mills. I don't know if you guys have them in your neck of the woods. I don't even know if they still exist anymore.
I've never heard of it.
So you cold call people saying, "Hi, my name is Fingers Malloy. Are you interested in your family having a portrait taken by Owen Mills? We have many great photo packages to choose from that are very affordable." "Screw you, buddy. I was eating." Click. I mean, getting cursed out. So a half hour in, I realized I didn't want any part of this job. So the next 3.5 hours, I just dialed the time number.
Shut up.
517-754-1212 over and over again. Pretend to talk to somebody. "Hi, I'm from Owen Mills." "Oh, you're not interested." "Oh, okay. Thank you so much." Boom. 517-754-1212. "Oh, hi. It's Fingers from Owen Mills."
And then you quit at the end of the shift?
Yep, and I didn't even try to collect a paycheck. I just left. So this
How old were you?
21. I wasn't that desperate for a paycheck where I had to go in. And the lady told me, she was the supervisor there. I think she had been there for like 2 months. It will only last like a week. You could climb to middle management.
Well, why were they wasting money on it? Was anybody successful with it?
It must have been, It just, to me, it was like you think at the time, they pay. It was a really good wage, but once you get there and you make your first telemarketing call, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm that person, because I know how pissed off I get when a telemarketer calls me, and I waste my time, picking up the phone and having to listen to the sales pitch for 10 seconds before I say I'm not interested in hanging up. And
well,
making a career out of this.
The one that I resent the most is when the Fraternal Order of Police calls. to shake you down for a donation for their efforts. Because you're like, I don't want to tell the cops no.
Right.
I don't want to piss them off.
Secret list.
Right. So the last time this happened, maybe a month ago, I get that phone call. This is, Charlie from the Fraternal Order of Police in such and such county. Are you the decision maker in the household or something like that? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then he starts pitching me. He's like, well, for just $5. I was like, I don't think you understand. I can't agree to give you $5. I don't get to make financial decisions in this household. And he's like, but it's just $5. I was like, I understand, but you don't understand. I can't do that, sir.
My husband beats me.
Right. Well, I didn't want to go that far because he's a cop, right?
Right.
Like, it's just an agreement that we have. I don't get to make any financial decisions. I think you should be able to understand that. No? Okay. Haven't gotten a call from them since either. So I might keep playing that game if they call again.
I'm surprised. You're probably one of only 2% of Americans who actually answers their phone. I don't answer my phone.
Well, understand that for my job, I get phone calls from numbers that I don't recognize.
Oh, okay.
So I have to answer them. And that's how they get me. So I just try to have fun with it now. Like, no, I'm not allowed to make financial decisions.
That's great. No, I never answer the phone.
Oh.
From a number that I don't recognize. And if I'm being truthful, I hardly answer the phone from numbers I do recognize. So, but no, that's funny. That you made me have a flashback to. I was talking about this with my daughter the other day because she was upset that she's taking a summer class right now.
Summer school?
Yeah, the kid's on the ball. She's taking classes now, so her senior year she'll have like 2 classes for the year,
Wow.
She's loading up on credits, and you can do that at this high school. So she's knocking out her PE credit right now.
Oh, good Lord.
And the class ends at 12:30. And she expects me there to pick her up right at 12:30.
Oh.
And I said, you don't understand what I had to go through when I was growing up. So I had to pull the whole Bill Cosby walking through snow uphill both ways.
Right.
Well, it made me think of, when I was a sophomore in high school, I was a freshman in high school because I wasn't driving. I was on the basketball team. And when you're a freshman, you practice at night. You get the crappy gym time. So I think my practice ended at 7:30 at night. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't have a quarter to call my parents to let them know that practice was over, I would call collect, and then my mom would answer, and the phone company. This is how to explain a collect call. Well, first, should I even go back to explaining what a payphone is, Tracy?
Right. I mean, they have them. If you're in a major city, you might see one occasionally. Yeah. It's being used as someone's home.
Right. So you put a quarter in, and you could make a local call for a quarter. But if you were calling long distance, you had to have a lot of pocket change, or one of the long distance companies like MCI or you name it, or a long distance card that you would pull out of your wallet that had a little number on it that you could refill with money, and then you could make a long distance call. So anyway, I would have to go to this payphone. And if I didn't have any money, I would call collect. And by calling collect, you dial the 0 to get an operator, and then say, I want to make a collect call to such and such number. And then they would charge that person's phone bill for the phone call. But you could pull a Tracy and accept or decline the call. And so my mom would answer, and then they would say, hello, ma'am, you have a collect call from a Fingers. And she would say, oh, I'm just the cleaning lady. I can't accept any collect calls. And then would hang up and then come pick me up because she knew I was ready.
Well, by the time I was making collect calls, they would just record your voice. You didn't have to actually speak to an operator. So I could do that, but I would say, come pick me up. And then so when they hear it, would you accept a call from come pick me up? They know just come get you, and they don't have to deal with an operator and making up a story.
No, those were new age collect calls. No, back in my day, you had to give a name. You had
to talk to a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Nobody ever has talked about what happened to all the telephone operators. Are they just chronically unemployed now?
Must be.
Or did they learn to code?
Or can you imagine? Oh, boy. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tracy?
I don't think so.
Okay, remember you can find the Enough Already podcast where all fine podcasts are sold, but especially check out iTunes and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really help us out. And I don't know how this whole reshuffling of iTunes is going to affect us, but I don't know if you heard the news, Tracy, but Apple is getting rid of iTunes.
They're splitting it apart, is my understanding. It's become 3 different things.
I mean, which makes sense because I know on my phone, I listen to podcasts on my podcast app.
Yes. Imagine that.
So, yeah, what an age we live in.
Crazy.
But for the time being, while you still can, leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can watch us read the 20 funniest tweets from women, according to the Huffington Post, on BitChute and YouTube. And, of course, you can find all things Enough Already on our website, enoughалready.us. Final thoughts, Tracy?
No, I do think I'll spend some time on that Huffington Post thing. And then I'm going to try to compose some funny tweets myself and lobby that chick to get on her list next week.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I think the tweet that I put out about that list should get on the list. Which was...
Did you read
Huh?
Did you read that tweet?
No, but I tweeted out that story, and I said, I think the Huffington Post is out to prove Christopher Hitchens right. Thank you.
There you go. Now, that's funny.
Thank you. I thought so.
In your honor, I'm going to donate $5 to SCAM PAC.
Thank you very much.
Because democracy dies when you're not in a beach house. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, you can catch Enough Already on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Enough Already Podcast. Well, I guess that's it for this week. I'm Fingers Malloy. She's Tracy L. Connors. We'll be back next week with an all-new Enough Already.